Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dan Gazaway, a mental performance coach for athletes of all sports. Today I was reminded of a friend of mine, an executive of a company, came up to me one day at work and he looked distraught. He was extremely nervous. And I knew what he was nervous about, but I let him approach me and talk to me, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? What are you so uptight about?" And he was like, "Man, in 2 weeks I got to get up on stage and I got to dance, not just lip sync, but I have to dance in front of everybody, and I want this performance to be fantastic. Dan, I know you work with a lot of athletes. I know you work with a lot of people in our company about this, about their mental performance, and you can calm them down. What advice can you give me?" And I said, "Well, the first thing I would recommend is dancing like nobody's watching." And he sat there for a second. He's like, "Well, that's really good advice." And I said, "When you go home and start practicing these dance moves," and we talked about the song he was going to perform. I can't remember the song that he was going to perform, but I said, when you go home into your room, practice all of those dance moves. Get those down so you're confident up on stage. But do that in a stress-free environment like your room, and you can go in and just be yourself. Literally dance like nobody is watching, because nobody is. And when it's time to perform, you get up on that stage and you start performing like you are in your room. What I want you to do is visualize the stage just being your room, and you're there. And you've done that. You've repeated the dance moves hundreds of times. You have that down, so you have the confidence. So he did just that. A couple of weeks later, the performance came, and he's in front of over 1,000 people. And I watched him deliver this amazing. He danced really, really well. He danced with freedom because he wasn't actually on stage. He was in his room dancing like nobody was watching, and he felt like he was dancing like nobody was watching. And he performed extremely well. In fact, at the end of his, I was going to say at the end of his presentation, but at the end of his performance, he threw out his hat, and people were going after his hat. They were all excited, and the audience went crazy. A couple of weeks later, well, a couple of days later, actually, he came up to me and he's like, "Dan, that's the best advice that you could have ever given me in that circumstance. Dance like nobody is watching." Now, I want you to think about your performances on and off the field, on and off the court, depending on what sport you're playing. And think about that. Are you playing for somebody else? Are you playing for you? Okay, are you comparing yourself to other players? If so, this is good advice. Play like nobody is watching, because in reality, you have nothing to lose anyway. So notice how much better you're going to play when you play like nobody is watching. I really love you to reach out to me, make comments below about how this has helped you and how you're able to perform better. And also click like and follow. And if anybody you feel, any athlete you feel that could listen to this message and take this advice, put it to practice and benefit from it, please share that with them.